host of one more pay-per-view event, the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
AKA Rumble in a Survivor Cellies. Slam. War Games reference.
One thing WWE will never do.
Yeah, so I'm going to give this pay-per-view an A.
Hell yeah.
It did really well.
Because it's SmackDown. It's the A show.
It is. It really is. This kind of went along to prove it that, SmackDown had a great pay-per-view, unlike Raw, which ruined the Royal Rumble.
And
Roman Reigns.
But don't worry. We only got 3 weeks until Goldberg's the Universal Champion.
At Fast Lonnie Poffo.
I like that. That's way better. Let's do that pay-per-view instead. Just do 3 hours of Lanny Poffo.
Reading poetry.
That'd be way better than Goldberg winning the Universal Championship.
Doing cartwheels. I thought it was a good pay-per-view.
It was.
One of the better pay-per-views in recent history.
Absolutely.
It was kind of like watching a 3-hour episode of SmackDown.
You know what made it even better? We skipped the pre-show match because he didn't want to watch.
Gross.
He didn't want to watch Mojo Rawley beat Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, that happened.
But it happened.
And it wasn't that great from what I hear.
No, it was awful. It was an awful match.
Because Mojo Rawley was in it.
Luckily, it was the pre-show.
Yeah.
But we started with Becky Lynch versus Mickie James.
Hell yeah.
The first of 3 ladies matches all night long.
SmackDown doing it big with the ladies.
Gotta say, all the ladies did good.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very solid night
Ladies
for the ladies.
done good.
And, Becky and Mickie started off really great with a very...
I honestly think this was the most solid of the female matches, for sure.
Absolutely the most solid match. Some good intensity between the two. Good wrestling. Just it was a good match overall. I didn't have any issues with the way this match played out at all.
Yeah.
And Mickie being the aggressor, taking the arm away from Becky Lynch was a good moment. She
tried to disarm her.
Yeah. Trying to take away that move. But after Becky actually reversed out of the jumping DDT, tried to get into the disarmer, Mickie then tried to roll her up, and she actually back rolled out of that, and then got a jackknife pin of her own, and Becky Lynch defeated Mickie James.
Called it.
Yeah, you did. So that officially makes us 1-1. For those of you that didn't check out our prediction video, we have a punishment that the loser of this pay-per-view will have to endure a mouthful of sour candies, most likely Warheads, where we will also have to recite a WWE Superstar promo.
Yes.
Or a wrestling star promo. Not necessarily WWE, but most likely. Great, a solid way to start the show.
Yeah. Good opening match.
And, it's enough hype around that to get people excited for the pay-per-view. Followed that up with a match that people don't really care about because it's just kind of there. We had the handicap match where Kalisto and Apollo Crews took on Dolph Ziggler.
Dolph Ziggler immediately tried to equal out the odds, though, because he attacked Kalisto on his way to the ring.
Yeah, he broke some LED boards.
Breaking some of the set.
Yeah.
Good job, Dolph. That's coming out of your paycheck.
Yeah. It was just more of a ragey Apollo Crews just trying to take out all of his aggression on Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Eventually, we did have Kalisto revived with a fixed LED board behind him. So
they used the Max Revive on Kalisto.
Yeah, and the LED board. Everything was fixed. Everything was ready to go.
Full heel.
Ziggler and Kalisto have a little bit more chemistry, but it was nice to see more of a just one-on-one match between Crews and Ziggler that didn't last like
we've already seen
30 seconds.
We've already seen 30 seconds of Kalisto versus Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see another 30 seconds of Kalisto and Dolph Ziggler.
But we did, because Kalisto did get back down to the ring. Got tagged in. Did a few little flippy moves. Hit Dolph Ziggler in the back of the head with his dick. That was the thing.
Kicked him in the face.
He did kick him in the face. Then he got another hot tag to Apollo Crews, where Apollo Crews did a big old enziguri to the side of Dolph Ziggler's head. And then it was like I guess it was another like jumping kick that Kalisto hit on Ziggler that sent Ziggler into Crews, who then hit the spin-out powerbomb, cruise control, cruise missile, whatever you want to call it. And Apollo Crews and Kalisto pick up the win. But then...
They also picked up a win without a D in front of it.
Sorry. I was trying to come up with something clever, and I didn't have anything. But then Dolph Ziggler beat the hell out of them once again and broke both of Apollo Crews' ankles with a chair. Maybe it was one ankle.
I'm pretty sure it was just his left.
But he did it twice. So it could have been both ankles. I don't remember. So this is going to continue.
Called it again.
Yeah. This puts him up 2-1, and I'm kind of freaking out at this point.
You are freaking out at this point.
You didn't go full Super Troopers with that, but like I thought you were going to. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing.
Yay! Next match.
Tag Team Turmoil. Should have
Booyah!
Should have been an Elimination Chamber. But
Maybe.
you
said but twice.
now I'm not gonna give you an extra point for it.
I know.
But this man right here, from beginning to end, I might even insert the clip here. He told me exactly how the match was gonna go.
I'm
Like-
goddamn clairvoyant.
Like, legit.
Call me Miss Cleo.
Step by step, we open up with
Piece by
Breezango.
piece.
Day by day. We start out with Breezango versus Heath Slater and Rhino. Breezango ends up getting eliminated after Fandango doesn't realize it was a blind tag and he gets gored by Rhino. Vaudevillains are next. They don't last a whole long while because Aiden English misses a Swanton
Quickly
bomb
eliminated.
and gets a jumping impaler DDT from Heath Slater. Out next we have the Usos, who have a good little run through on Heath Slater and Rhino. Then
Heath Slater dove off the top rope during this portion and fucked himself up.
yeah, he didn't quite get caught the way he wanted to.
No, he almost completely overshot the Usos.
Yes.
They
They just kind of like put their hands up, like, oh, don't go completely over.
they basically tried to just deflect him the best they could.
They saved him the best they could.
But he ended up basically like half somersaulting and landing on his hip, which
Yeah.
gave him a really wonky limp the rest of the match.
Yeah, it didn't do much for him, as he would end up getting super kicked in the face by Jimmy Uso, and Heath Slater and Rhino would be eliminated. That then brings out American Alpha, where we haven't really got the fallout from the heel turn from the Usos between these two teams. So this was the first real time where the two teams are actually able to really go at each other. Great chemistry between the two. I'd love to see a full run of these guys for the tag team titles.
It would be fun.
And you know, just the fact that you have two teams that gel so well together. You had like a double set of like roll through pins towards the end, where Jay was trying to roll up Jordan and didn't realize that Gable was behind him and he was the legal man, and ended up getting I don't even know what type of pin you'd call it, but he like jumped through with his legs and rolled him over, and like it was almost like a bridge. He was trying to bridge with it, but he ended up just kind of like pinning his legs down, or his shoulders down with his feet, and the Usos are eliminated by American Alpha, but they decide to leave themselves a lasting reminder on the tag team champions by beating the hell out of them for a solid minute and a half or so.
Yeah, and then out came Victor and Smiley.
Yeah, man, that mask that Connor's got, that's...
Teeths McGee.
And yeah, the the little hood thing that Victor's got, plus the spider web face paint he's got going on.
Spider Boy.
Connor's still rocking the zombie get up underneath the smiley mask. The Ascension I don't even remember the last time I've seen the Fall of Man. But boy, was it nice to see the Fall of Man. And it didn't quite work.
It had been so long since I saw it that I kind of thought I was just imagining it happening.
Yeah, like, oh, this is kind of like NXT. But it's not NXT. It's the main roster.
It's kind of a lot like NXT because Tyler Breeze was there and the Vaudevillains were there and Ascension was there and American Alpha was there.
This is one of those things where it's like the Usos were the only ones that never spent time in NXT. Everyone else went through NXT in one way or another. So, yeah. But despite the beatdown from the Usos, despite the intensity of the Ascension, American Alpha, because Kevin Hawks said so, was able to come back, hit Grand Amplitude on Victor, and with a jumping save on top of Connor from Jason Jordan, American Alpha retain the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships.
I called it face.
That was a point for both of us. So now I'm at 2, and he is at
3.
No, you're at 4. No, yeah, you're at 3. Yeah.
Don't argue with me. I called it.
I will argue if I want. I'll just argue wrong. I'm okay with that. Up next, we had our second ladies match. We had Natalya versus Nikki Bella. The match was really good.
Yeah, this was like, from a wrestling standpoint, I was very excited to watch Mickie James versus Becky Lynch.
Mm-hmm.
And from an athleticism standpoint, I was really excited to watch Alexa Bliss versus Naomi. This was the personal rivalry of the whole bunch.
Yeah. And it was, I gotta say, they both went all out against each other. I appreciate Nikki doing some more,
risque bumps.
Yeah, the big clotheslines off the apron. Like, the one they did in slow motion was really cool to watch.
The time Natalya pulled her out of the ring and she did the front flip out.
Yeah.
And then landed just flat on the ground.
Yeah, the superplex was nice. Both ladies taking a nice bump off of that. It was a very solid match.
Yeah.
And I could feel the animosity between the two of them. That they were legitimately trying to put each other down. Natty being catty, throwing the John Cena taunts in there and whatnot, kind of adding to it, firing Nikki up a little bit more.
Yeah, Nikki hitting the STF pretty violently.
Good, I don't know.
Locking it in way more effectively than I think I've ever seen John Cena do it.
Like, the first time she locked it in, I legitimately thought Natalya was in pain.
She reaches around with her whole arm and chokes you out with it.
Yeah, well that was the second one.
Unlike Cena's crossface,
where there's a foot between his fist and the...
Nikki literally tries to fucking
she headlocks
choke you out.
Yeah, that's rear naked choke going on there. But the first one,
that's scary.
The first one, it was more so she dropped down and the look of pain on Natalya's face actually got me worried. I was like, what does Nikki do? Did she I legitimately thought Nikki was hurting Natalya. And then the second one where Natalya was fighting to get to the ropes, she was passing out because she it looked like she couldn't breathe. Unfortunately, this was one of my low points of the pay-per-view because this match didn't need to continue, but it's going to.
The feud.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
This match isn't continuing.
They're still fighting right now.
Because it was they both lost.
It was a double count. And then they ended up fighting more in the back. And there was powder thrown that was being held by Maurice. And Maurice was there for a second.
And she's mad now.
Yeah.
WrestleMania match.
So, match-wise, good job. Finish-wise, why?
Because.
Stupid.
Bella.
Fair enough.
So, unlike American Alpha getting a point for both of us, that match got a point for neither of us.
Yeah, because we both went Nikki and we were both wrong.
We would have been wrong regardless.
That's true, because neither of us voted for double countout.
Yep. No one picked no one.
Yeah. Moving on.
Man.
What?
Now, Fastlane, I'm going to pick no one for one of the matches.
If you call a double count out, I'll give you 2 points for it.
Like, what if I just say nobody's going to win this match and there's like a double DQ?
I'd give you an extra point for that.
That's like going extra risky.
Yeah. You are sacrificing 1 point for like a very specific finish. I'd give you an extra point for that.
Yeah.
I think that could be an option for us in later prediction videos. On to a match that you were excited to watch.
Yes.
Luke Harper versus Randy Orton.
Yeah, man. If you don't already know, I like me some Luke Harper matches.
You
And
like a Luke Harper fanboy?
Randy Orton, if y'all haven't been watching, is also pretty good.
Who is this Randy Orton?
He's been around the block
Randy
a few
Orton?
times. He's been around the block a few times, you know?
He sounds like a promising up-and-comer.
Yeah, he won the Royal Rumble twice now.
Oh, shit. Where have I been?
Man, these guys tore it down.
I gotta say,
Tope Suicida
Mamma Mia. You know it's a good match when you get Mauro Ranallo to combine 2 of his catchphrases. That's an important step in wrestling.
Yeah.
They
got a This Is Wrestling chant during their match.
They had the crowd was so hyped for this match already, and then watching the 2 of them work and just
deliver.
It was a treat for everyone, and I knew this was a possibility from both of them, and we've seen this from Orton in WWE. This was a very important match for Luke Harper.
It was.
This spoke volumes about Luke Harper and what he's capable of in the WWE environment.
It also really showcased the ability for Luke Harper to actually get the crowd behind him.
Yeah.
I mean, in the tag match when he teamed with Cena, he got a big pop.
Yeah. When
he got tagged in. And then this just was an extra step in the right direction.
Yeah, and it's so good to finally see Luke Harper getting a spot. Randy Orton, this new run that he's been doing, he's letting more people do more to him.
Yeah.
Like, he is selling a lot more, and it's doing wonders for a lot of the younger talent that's coming through the system.
It's sort of like a revitalized Randy Orton.
It really is. Like, he is as good as he was 5 or 6 years ago, if not better.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a very fun match to watch. Watching them just do everything in their power to tear each other apart. This is very much on that same level as Natty and Nikki as far as the animosity. Like, it's been building over the last couple months. And they finally came to a head where they were just able to let it out on each other.
Yeah, man, Harper hit a big old power bomb on Orton.
Yeah, the sit-out power bomb.
Bounced Orton about 6 inches off the ground. Probably rocked his world.
Orton hit the power slam on the outside.
Like back suplex Harper onto the announce table.
Yeah.
Harper back rolled and everyone had to scatter.
Yeah. A couple of gnarly super kicks from Luke Harper to Randy Orton.
Mm-hmm.
And then Orton, of course, paying homage to his daddy, hitting that amazing superplex on a guy as big as Luke Harper. Orton just does it so flawlessly.
Yeah.
And it is very fun to watch. And then because we kind of had this back and forth match, even the end was that way because they both kept trying to hit their finishers, and neither of them were getting it. And it was finally this last attempt. Luke Harper went for the discus clothesline, and as he brought the arm around, Randy double axe handled it down, which spun Harper around right into an RKO, and Randy Orton picks up a win over Luke Harper.
Another point for both of us.
Yes. So now it is
4-3.
Yes, 4-3. So in order for me to win, I need both of these next 2 points because the last 2 matches we disagreed on.
Yep. I went with Alexa Bliss. He went with Naomi. I went with Big Match John.
And I went with Bray Wyatt. So, yes, our semi-main event was the SmackDown Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss defending
I did
against
kind of like
Naomi.
this idea that they had the 2 singles championships
It was a well-paced pay-per-view.
back to back as the semi-main and main event.
Yeah.
Let's have the top women's title on our channel and then the top championship of our brand.
I felt like it started with here's a match that everyone's excited for to get the hype up. Then here's a match that's happening with some people that they might like. Then here's the tag team titles, and then they just kept ramping it up. They had a little bit of a break with Natty and Nikki, and then they're probably the best put together feud between Randy and Harper, then the Women's Championship, then the Elimination Chamber. It was a very well-paced pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Women's Championship, Naomi looking to really stake her claim in the women's division. She hasn't been super relevant for the past few months.
Well, I mean, and 2, one of the big factors in this match that make me feel like I would like to see Naomi win, even though I voted for Alexa Bliss, is that I started to think about Naomi is one of the longest tenured divas on the current main roster.
Yeah.
Because she's been around longer than pretty much anyone I can think of on either roster, with the exception of Alicia Fox and Summer Rae.
Yeah, they're about the only, and then technically Emma.
Her and Emma kind of spawned around the same time.
A little bit, yeah.
And then Paige would have been pretty shortly afterwards.
Yeah, no, she's
as far as on the main roster.
She's definitely top 5 of longest.
But yeah, if you feel all the people who are super relevant right now, Becky Lynch, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte, Sasha, Bayley, Nia Jax, all new compared to Naomi.
Carmella. Yeah, no, that's... I
guess Natty's up there too.
Yeah, Natty and Nikki would be above Naomi. But yeah, no, I think she's definitely top 5 as far as how long they've been on the roster.
Yeah.
And how long they've been a thing.
Probably the longest one to be on the roster to go without a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, the fact that she hasn't had a championship run, I think she's probably the only one who hasn't had a championship run at this point, other than Summer Rae.
Yeah.
So, this is, and obviously she had the big moment where she's like, hey, WrestleMania is in my hometown. This is a big thing for me. And her and Alexa went out there. It wasn't the prettiest match. They had some flubs. But it was a solid match. I'm not gonna say I hated the match because there was a few mess ups, but I think the few things that they did mess up on, despite it being towards the end, was still outweighed by the fact that they did put on a really good show.
Yeah.
And the fact that this is only the second time they've had a one-on-one match, I think, at least as far as we've seen.
Yeah, televised.
They actually work really well together, and it was a battle of top rope moves here towards the end because Naomi's now taken to the split leg moonsault as her finisher, and then we all know that Alexa Bliss always goes for Twisted Bliss, and there wasn't any outside interference. Mickey James didn't come down.
Neither did Cameron.
Who?
Oh yeah, she doesn't work for WWE anymore. did
Oh.
neither did Melina or Alicia Fox.
Alicia Fox. Becky Lynch didn't come down. She totally could have come down and screwed over Alexa Bliss. But she didn't.
And Melina did not premiere?
Nope. She might be there on Raw tonight. Maybe.
Hey, as I said, premiere next week on Raw.
And we'll see. But, yeah, after Alexa goes for Twisted Bliss.
Naomi got the knees up.
Oh, God.
Which bounced Alexa.
Yeah. Like, it was...
It looked like a tummy full of suck. I'm just calling it how I see it.
A tummy full of suck.
And then she was trying to roll into position for the split-legged moonsault.
She wasn't fast enough.
No, Naomi just crashed on her hip. Ow.
All the more reason to keep Alexa Bliss down, and your new SmackDown Women's Champion is Naomi.
Didn't see that coming.
And the crowd was super behind her, gave her a "You deserve it" chant.
Yeah.
Which
I think even despite the fact that you voted for her, you didn't see her win
Nope.
the belt.
Nope.
For sure.
I thought it was going to be something to keep her going for the title. I didn't expect her to win it.
Yeah.
Pleasantly surprised with that. And then
I have my theory on why I know what this means, though.
Okay.
Because we're going to have a real good feel-good moment at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
When Charlotte finally loses in a pay-per-view.
Okay.
We're going to have the exact opposite moment.
Where
Naomi is going to be Naomi in
Oh,
might be her first defense, potentially. If she doesn't...
Well, possibly, because on Talking Smack, Daniel Bryan did mention that there is a potential for a rematch in 2 weeks.
Oh, in 2 weeks. So well, maybe not her first
still,
defense, but
yeah,
still early in her run, in her hometown, to get her dreams smashed.
Yeah. Yeah, and
by Mickie James.
She has a great story because she talks about how at WrestleMania 29, her match got cut.
It did.
While she was in gorilla position, getting ready to go out, they said, "Sorry, your match isn't making the show." And now, 4 years later, she could very well be going into WrestleMania as the champion.
That was the one...
It's supposed to be the 8-man...
Yeah, the Rhodes Scholars and the Bella Twins versus Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls.
Yeah.
Tons of Funkadactyls.
Yeah. But yeah, it was the P. Diddy performance went long because we need musical performances other than entrances at WrestleMania for some god awful reason. And yeah, so she does have a very good feel good story, very well played out story to make her all the more babyface going into this match. And then to have it come crashing down will be a very rough moment for Naomi and any of her mega fans.
Yeah, and it's like sad on one hand, but I feel like it's really good writing.
Oh, absolutely. But we've got one more match.
And now we're tied.
We are tied.
4-4.
4-4. This match decides it. We have John
Cena. Or
Cena.
potentially ties it.
Yeah. Potentially
Because
ties it.
we realize at this point there are 4 chances of us tying.
Yes.
But only 2 chances of one of us winning.
Exactly.
But I think we picked the best 2 chances.
I think we did. So, John Cena, the 16-time champion, defending against AJ Styles, Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, and The Miz.
And that's the order they came out in.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't. Because Styles and Cena came out last.
Well, I mean, the order of their match.
Oh. Was it really?
Yeah, AJ Styles and John Cena and AJ Styles, then Dean Ambrose, Bray Wyatt, Baron Corbin, and The Miz.
Did not do that on purpose.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, that is the order.
Subconsciously on purpose.
That is the order of entrance.
Entry.
And the fact that we didn't have an elimination until all 6 guys were in the match.
Sort of.
Oh, yeah.
The Miz's pod opened.
And he just stood there in
But
horror.
he didn't get into the match.
Okay, so let's some of the spots we had in this match were really fun to watch.
Yeah, and most of them, the Miz, they would be like a superplex or some big bump on the outside, and it would cut over to the Miz, who was like this.
Yeah, Miz was like coaching through a lot of this. There was a Tower of Doom spot where Ambrose powerbombed Bray Wyatt while Bray Wyatt did like, I don't even, what did he do to
It's like
Styles?
an overhead deal.
Like he just grabbed Styles by the side of his face and threw him over the top of his head. It was ridiculous. And then like, yeah, Miz is like, cover him, and like, okay, what is your official feel about the new Elimination Chamber? Because I personally, I like it more than I expected to.
There are things I like about it. There are things I don't like about it as much as the other things I like.
Okay.
I do, like, the more the match went on, the more I appreciated the size.
Yes.
It's a very daunting looking structure. At the same time, it does lack a little bit of the intimacy, close quarters feel that the Elimination Chamber originally had.
Okay, I can agree with that.
Because I felt like part of the mystique of the Elimination Chamber, especially when it first debuted, was like how it was like there's no escape, and it's like super. It could get like, if all 6 guys were in, it could almost start getting claustrophobic.
Well, when you see it, like, it's a huge looking structure.
Yeah, and I mean, we've been inside the Elimination Chamber.
Here's a picture of us inside the Elimination Chamber with Zack Ryder and the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
It's actually kind of weird when you look at it, like, that thing is huge. And then you get inside and you're like, it's not that big.
It looks huge from the outside, and you get in it and you realize, like, yeah, you could totally get like a crowded feeling.
Yeah. And especially with all the crowded steel. But yeah, the height of it is great. Which
I liked the little viewing windows on top of the pod.
Yeah.
They used that to great effect with Ambrose and Styles.
Ambrose just hucking Styles into the plexiglass
on top of the Miz's pod.
Was so much fun to watch.
And even I feel like changing the pod design was smart.
Yeah.
Because they've had a lot of miscues with the semicircle shaped pods.
Yeah.
With doors getting jammed.
Yeah, because the curved doors were always just
like
really...
they'd get jammed sometimes, or not be able to close all the way.
Yeah.
They've had issues. This with the square doors, where all you had to do is slide one panel forward and back, made it for a lot less room for error.
Yeah.
My biggest downside is the floor around the outside.
That's one thing that initially I was kind of upset about, but I think that adds excitement to the match because everyone's more willing to do moves.
Yeah, because now it's just a flat floor.
It's like the black mats on the outside of the ring.
Yeah. For me, it's like cool. They're willing to do more stuff on the outside, but then double-edged sword. The stuff on the outside is now only like partially as intense because you realize that they're just landing on flat black mat,
but you gotta
not on like the steel floor, which made the Elimination Chamber so daunting.
I think for me though, like, we still know that moves on the outside of the ring hurt.
Yeah.
And if you've got people, hitting that plus a wall of steel chains next to them, it's not exactly the most friendly place to be. I think the biggest benefit it has for me is that we don't get the constant, oh, I'm in the ring, I'm holding on the ropes, don't throw me, because we got that so many times, and now it's, you'll get it a little bit, but people, it's not a constant fear. You don't have people who are like specifically going, please for the love of God don't throw me out there.
Yeah. The other part for me that it became very... in the one match, it became very commonplace.
Yeah.
Where almost more of the match took place on the outside than it did in the ring. So it became so much of a, we can do more on the outside now, that it became more outside than it did inside, which diluted the effect of doing the moves on the outside.
I don't know. Not necessarily. I don't know. I appreciated that more of the match happened on the outside, and I didn't have to worry about people, like, ripping themselves to shreds, because we've seen some gnarly shots on that steel floor.
But for me, that's part of the excitement of Elimination Chamber, is that it's supposed to be a dangerous match.
Yeah.
And they removed the most dangerous element.
I think it's for the betterment, in my opinion. But yeah.
Well, it was 100% for the betterment of the wrestlers.
Yeah.
But to me, it detracts from the excitement.
But yeah. We waited till all 6 guys were in the ring, and then... Yes. Back to that.
5 guys were in the ring,
so,
and Miz was being a pussy bitch.
So Baron Corbin is standing tall as the...
he has demolished everyone.
And so as the last 10 seconds are ticking down for the Miz, and the door opens, and Miz just stands there with the most terrified look on his face.
Because Baron Corbin is staring at him like a hobo at a raw steak.
He's just begging him to come out, and so, like, Miz, like...
He wants to fuck up the moneymaker.
Miz just kind of,
he creeps his head out,
like he's gonna get a better view. And
he's gonna dip his toes in the water.
It's just long enough.
He's literally like when he's... Test the wind fact, like what direction the wind is blowing in.
It's just long enough for Ambrose to get up and roll up Baron Corbin, and Corbin to lose his fucking mind.
Yeah, because then Corbin, much to the chagrin of like 4 referees who chase him around the chamber, he beats the ever-loving shit out of Dean Ambrose.
So chucks him into a pod, chucks him into the side of the chamber a bit more, drops him on the outside. And yeah, just leaves him for dead, and then the Miz still, with looks like this, waits for Baron Corbin to leave and the door to close before he runs in and pins Dean Ambrose and eliminates Dean Ambrose, and then gets up like he fucking did it all himself,
bro.
And then he realizes he still has AJ Styles, Bray Wyatt, and John Cena.
Yes.
And it quickly becomes clear that Miz doesn't remember how to fight John Cena.
Yeah. John Cena gave him an AA and eliminated him.
Because Miz crossbodied him. You don't crossbody John Cena. It's
one of the setups to his finish.
That's like right up, like the only thing people haven't learned is to not swing wildly. Some people know not to crossbody, but they still do it. So yeah, Miz eliminated easily with an AA, leaving the top contenders for the championship at this point. John Cena still defending against former champion AJ Styles, and one of the dark horses, but a favor to win in Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we get a lot of Styles and Wyatt teaming up on Cena. Cena having to play that babyface handicap spot.
Yeah, and it worked for Cena well because being able to fight both of these guys off, because he had a spot where he fell off of like the midpoint of the side earlier on in the match. Him and AJ were fighting up on the side, and so he fell off, and so he had a good portion of the match to kind of recuperate.
Yeah, he had a good rest period for himself, so he was able to make
that's before he came in and popped the Miz off, and then had to do the 2-on-1.
Yeah.
So we had Cena started, but he had a good recoup time.
Yeah. Which once again lent itself to the match, because then you have John Cena and AJ who have been in there since the beginning, and Bray Wyatt was the second person out of the pods. So you had all three guys in there for a pretty good amount of time.
Yeah.
And then it's everybody trying to hit, that one final move on each other, everybody kicking out of stuff, and then it's the surprise Sister Abigail that drops John Cena and guarantees us a new WWE champion.
Yeah.
So
John Cena's 16-time title reign lasts only 2 weeks.
2 weeks. That is not.
Well, that's like a Cena title reign from before.
This is the last one. The last one was like 4 weeks, and then he got thrown around by Brock Lesnar.
Yeesh.
So now we have one of the first.
It's like an Attitude Era title reign.
A little bit, yeah. One of the things I don't miss about the Attitude Era is the 2-week title reigns.
You know what though? I actually enjoyed it a little bit.
It had its place.
It worked, I think, for the Attitude Era because the Attitude Era had a ton of established championship stars.
You could believe that anyone could win the title at any time.
Yeah.
So it was very commonplace and made sense. So I don't think we've had. Haven't we had one-on-one Styles versus Wyatt since Styles debuted?
Maybe once.
Because I can't, if you can remember, please post in the comments, but I can't remember a time when we've actually had just these two one-on-one, which made this really exciting.
Yeah.
Because we've had the former champion going against someone who has never held this championship before.
Yeah.
So,
a championship other than the tag titles.
Bray Wyatt has never held
title.
a singles title. Which, by the way, with the elimination of John Cena, I have the chance to win. You are officially out. But if AJ does win, we have the chance to tie. And we have a great back and forth between Styles and Wyatt.
Yeah. At this point, you can tell both guys are getting a little worn down.
Oh, yeah.
So it just becomes the first person to really hit the one big last shot is going to win.
I love, AJ had, this one flurry where he hit his
Morrow
kick
calls
back
it the
fist.
Styles Blitz.
Yeah, he had that one
where
moment
he knocked the Miz's tooth out.
Yeah, he went nuts on Bray Wyatt, and it was just
he did it. He whacked him, and then Bray Wyatt came right back with a clothesline.
Yeah,
turned him sideways.
And so there's a couple attempts at a Sister Abigail. Styles ends up hitting the Pele, then goes out for a springboard 450, hits that. But he's not able to pin fast enough, and Wyatt kicks out. And then Styles figures, okay, he's down. I've got this set. I've hit him with everything. He's been in for a while. Last chance to take it home.
People's elbow.
Kind of, because he takes the elbow pad off, goes to the outside, springboards for the Styles crash, but gets caught in the Sister Abigail. Bray Wyatt is the WWE champion.
If you couldn't already tell.
I mean, spoiler alert, but fuck. Yeah, man. Fuck yeah. More so than the fact that I just won our bet. I am so fucking happy for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I'm excited for Bray Wyatt being the WWE champion. I'm excited for Bray Wyatt to get one of his first big, decisive pay-per-view victories.
Yes.
After Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Survivor Series was his first huge, decisive, big win in the win column of Bray Wyatt for a long time.
Absolutely.
The only detriment to me is, albeit I voted for John Cena, I knew Bray was going to win. I voted for Cena specifically to give us more conflict and more ability to have a different outcome. I knew Bray was going to win, and that was the only detriment to me that made me feel like, yes, it's awesome Bray won. He deserves it, beyond a shadow of a doubt. But I kind of wish it would have been one of those other times when it would have been more of spur-of-the-moment surprisey.
Yeah.
Less... Because, any of the other matches he had with Cena, or any of the other times that Bray Wyatt's been in the main event match where he could have won but didn't, would have been more like a holy shit, Bray Wyatt won.
Yeah.
Where this was like with Randy Orton winning the Rumble, dissension in the Wyatt family, you could sort of see it coming.
I don't know. I like the fact that SmackDown gives us options.
Yeah, man.
Like
SmackDown is
like it could have gone so many different ways.
Raw.
Learn.
Are you taking notes?
No. They're putting the title on Goldberg. They're not taking notes for shit. We already know what's going to happen through WrestleMania on Raw.
Yeah.
Boo. But yeah, congratulations to Bray Wyatt. Congratulations to SmackDown for putting on another fantastic pay-per-view.
Yeah, they go out with a stare down.
Yeah.
Orton is now like shown on the ramp.
Yep.
Staring in, and Bray kind of looks at him, and he only for a second.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to facing the hard camera and does the follow the buzzards.
Yeah. And it was a cool image having the two of them staring each other down, fireflies out around the arena, and then Bray dropping down to his knees doing the follow the buzzards. And so yeah, I'm really interested.
I was kind of hoping they were gonna like change the WrestleMania graphic, like when he won, like to like a Fireflies version of the WrestleMania.
That would have been interesting.
Like if they would have had just like LED lights behind it, and they would have like shut off the main light on the logo.
Yeah.
And just had like the freaking lights shaped like the WrestleMania logo.
That would have been kind of cool. I'm really excited to see what turn this takes. Whether we go strictly Wyatt versus Orton, or if we do get Luke Harper involved.
I would love to see Luke Harper get in the mix.
I absolutely would too.
Is he in a place where I feel like WWE is going to be comfortable putting him in a championship match? Probably not.
I think part of me wants to believe the match with Orton was a test. Like, what kind of level can we get Luke Harper at, and is it WrestleMania main event level?
Yeah. Hopefully. That would be a great cause, because I think if that's so, then Harper would have passed with flying colors. That would make my day.
If that is the main event.
If Harper gets into the championship match at WrestleMania.
It would be so different from anything they've done the last few years. I mean, having Bray Wyatt in there is already different enough.
Oh, I'm pretty sure, and another thing is, like, that would only be, like, the third or fourth triple threat championship match in WrestleMania history.
They'd be fourth.
Because there was the Ray, Angle, Orton, there was the Edge, Cena, Big Show,
and Benoit, Michaels, Triple H.
Oh, it would be fifth then.
Oh, we had Cena, Triple H.
No, I was Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, Batista.
There's been a lot more than we thought.
Yeah.
Scratch that.
But it's still, comparatively, out of 32 main events.
Well, I mean, like, if you compare it to even the ones we just talked about, this one is already different because someone like Bray Wyatt, who has nothing prior to this moment, is now in the main event picture of WrestleMania.
Yeah, which is such a stark contrast, because if you think about it, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, he was built up just to lose to John Cena. 2 years ago, he was built up just to lose to The Undertaker. Last year, he was just embarrassed by The Rock.
And John Cena. So
now it's like the due diligence paid off. Now he's walking into WrestleMania as champion.
Bray Wyatt and Naomi.
Yeah.
They are heading into the biggest moments of their career.
Absolutely.
And they both fucking deserve it. So, yeah.
Kudos, guys.
We've been going for a while, so thanks for watching. Thank you, SmackDown.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe.
Click the links.
There's
check
so
out the
many
podcast.
links.
Check out Reasonable
That
Wrestling
link is
Fans.
down there. It's with the W, like wrestling.
But for now, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Fuck Mojo Rawley.
Fuck Raw. Lee.
That works.